When the time comes to get into the classroom, students have to be prepared to really engage the deeper issues and implications of the material that they're studying.
I think the thing that improves the quality of learning the most is ensuring that the students have done something, have wrestled with the topic somehow before coming to class.
But if they come prepared, we can really start to engage implications, we can look at examples, we can do case studies, we can do a lot more with the material, and I think it really deepens and enriches the learning experience.
What I like to do is I like to give students ahead of time the knowledge that they're going to be called on. And they're confident when I come to them with that invitation to respond to the class that they have something to say.
I think two of the keys for really getting at learning quality with my students has been trying to make it as accessible as possible as well as relevant. It's getting the students to recognize that what we're talking about in class relates to an individual concern.
I think if you really want to get valuable work done in class, they need to come with some building blocks, and if they don't come with the building blocks, then obviously what we build in class will naturally be hampered and limited, and so and I think a lot of professors are working on that they do ensure that the students come with something to build upon.
If you're not prepared, it's impossible to engage, and we have students actually meeting on their own before class to get prepared to come into class and do what they have to do, and that excites me quite a bit.
If they're not held accountable in some motivating way for that preparation, it's very difficult to prepare. So one thing I've learned is make sure that students are accountable for that preparation, so they can then enjoy the engagement process afterwards, and then really concentrate on the engagement with the materials, with other students, and make the feedback as individualized as possible, so that they can have the improvement that is inherent in this in the learning framework.
You get more motivation when they can see what they need to learn, and then their homework is directly related to where their errors are, and so that's been helpful to try to get them to engage and say, this is what I need to learn, and this will help me accomplish it.
Mike Griffins came up with this idea of doing the video. An interesting thing is by asking a student to look into a camera and talk about something for 5 minutes, it actually engages the learning process more so than just having to type a brief paragraph or what have you.
One of the biggest things we do is have students teach back the principles that they've learned, either after they've watched a video of a teacher or after they've read some materials.
And then we ask the students to begin the engagement process before class even begins. And so every student's required to respond to 2 other students. I really feel like it fosters this dialogue that starts before class even begins. And I go in before class and actually start watching those videos and start seeing what students are talking about and what they're thinking about, maybe if there's certain concerns that are rising up. It really helps me be able to focus my lecture or my class period on meeting the needs of the students. What is it that they're not understanding? What is it that there's concerns about or that we need to discuss? And I really feel like it gets the conversation going before class even begins.
And then I'll give them an assignment that helps them prepare for class and say, there's a scenario that we're going to discuss in class, but you have to understand this case and be able to ask questions about this in order to participate.
One of my strategies is to teach strategies and try to make them more independent.
I've found the frameworks really helpful for me as I think about approaching sort of each class period and approaching each class. I need to be prepared. I need to be prepared for the different personalities that are in the class, the different learning styles, the different cultures. I need to come prepared with examples that are going to be relevant to a student from Hong Kong as well as a student from Africa, and make sure that every student feels like this is personally applicable to them in their lives. Then when you get in the classroom and you're engaged, it's a much richer experience for them as well.